Now, I've had many comments saying that I am a puppet for the developers, Tower Defense Simulator developers. I am a vessel for Below Natural to voice his opinions. And I would like to categorically say that it's incorrect. Falsified documents have been provided. I don't know why people think that I am a vessel for the developers. I may have a balanced opinion from the community and the developers because I know both of them. However, my opinions, they are of my own most of the time, and the developers have not influenced it by like bribery or stuff like that, nor has a relationship with the developers affected my opinions. For the most part, I am well aware that because I have some sort of insider knowledge some of the time, that it may influence my decisions on these type of things. However, with that knowledge, I do believe that I am balanced in my opinions. And as you're about to see in this video, because the developers might get a little bit pissed at this video. So it all starts with Paradoxum Games commenting on someone's stream saying the summer battle pass very soon, then PvP, then Ego, then Halloween, then Christmas, and okay, I watch Squid Games now, bye. So, firstly, this is recorded by Mentin. As you can see here, it's in Polish, so this isn't of my own recording. However, other people have verified that the developers did say the exact same thing. Now, interestingly, there's a Twitter account called Is Alter Ego Out Yet? Or at Is Alter Ego Out? Alter Ego may be releasing before Halloween this year, meaning we have at most 4 to 5 months before it releases, if what Paradoxum Games said is correct, that is. So they've just cut down the messages from the streams saying summer battle pass very soon, then PvP, then Ego, then Halloween, then Christmas. Okay, I'll watch Squid Games now. So in response to this, Tower Defense Simulator, the verified check mark, Paradoxum Games. I mean, I know the check mark isn't worth anything anymore, but Paradoxum Games does have the check mark, so I can kind of verify that this is Paradoxum Games. Anyways, here it says, "Hello, trailer guy here. This isn't in order and is subject to change." Now, the trailer guy mentioned is probably Profine. Do you know how I know it's Profine? Because he probably made the trailer for the summer. And in fact, the Paradoxum Games YouTube channel used to be Profine's channel, where he just uploaded a load of stuff. In fact, there's actually a very interesting stuff that I'll talk about maybe in a different video. I've already talked about it, but that's before I started using my voice. Anyways, this person, so trailer guy, it's Profine, says that this isn't in order and is subject to change. So, I would like to address this. Firstly, with the adverb then, it sort of implies that there is a direction for this timeline. So, this isn't in order. I very much doubt it. So, Summer Battle Pass very soon. Obviously, that's the first thing that's going to be released. Then PvP. You wouldn't say that, right? If it wasn't in order. I struggle to see how the word then here can be considered in any way other than an ordered list. So it goes then PvP and then Ego and then Halloween and then Christmas. If it wasn't in order, it would say Summer Battle Pass very soon, PvP, Ego, Halloween, Christmas, sometime down the line. It wouldn't mention then. It looks like with the mention of then PvP and then Ego, right? With the and here being a connector and then being an adverb, you would assume that this is a natural flow of things. You wouldn't do and then if it was something like Ego, then PvP, then Halloween, then Christmas. Obviously, Halloween and Christmas, we didn't know that they were confirmed, and it sort of is confirmed that Halloween and Christmas are in progress. But then, I can't see why the developers, or whoever's, well, Profine saying this, saying that this isn't in order when it very clearly is in order. However, that being said, I do understand the subject to change part. It would kind of make sense that this isn't in order and subject to change are part of the same comment. However, with the and here, it says that they are separate. You know, connector and all. So, with that, it does kind of confirm that this is a very, very rough outline of the updates that are going to come. So, Summer Battle Pass, PvP, and Ego, that's what I presume is going to happen, or is planned to happen. However, if there is a delay in stuff, which I assume there will be, Alter Ego may not release this year. Given the fact that the Summer Battle Pass is probably coming this week, as when I release this video, and then PvP mode is probably going to release sometime in probably August or maybe even late July. That means that Alter Ego could possibly be released in September, October. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the developers have to change Alter Ego to be a 2026 release. These things take time, and from the developmental leaks from Alter Ego, it looks like not much has been progressed. I mean, yes, you have the glory kill cutscenes, whatever the glory kill means, but other than that, not much. And it looks like the character models from the people who are being killed haven't been fully developed. if Alter Ego was near ready to be released within like the next 3 months, I would assume a lot more content would be released other than what we have right now. And because of that, I'm not entirely sure that Alter Ego is going to be released. And to be quite frank with you, I'm not entirely sure that PvP mode is going to be released. And then again, these type of things are mentioned by the developers, and nothing has come from them. So, for example, the hardcore rework update, that was mentioned to be coming in Thanksgiving 2024, or a leak for the Void Reaver, I believe, in Thanksgiving 2024, and the hardcore mode rework would occur then. However, that hasn't occurred yet, and it's been over a year. Now, we know that the developers are taking their time with the hardcore mode rework, and given the fact that skills and consumables have been added to the game, and the developers are probably seeking options for these things to be added into hardcore mode, given the fact that previously Below Natural said that we are looking into ways into implementing consumables into hardcore mode, I would have to assume that the balancing for hardcore mode, even if it's already started, would have to restart again for whenever skills has been added, as has been the case now. Additionally, we don't know how much work has been put into hardcore mode already. Like, we know from Tyler that the developers are taking their time with the hardcore mode rework, and it's probably going to be somewhat good when it's released. I don't know. Like, Fallen mode went on release. People actually kind of liked it, even though it was like a major rework from what it was previously. A lot different departure from what it was. But that's all I speculate from the hardcore mode rework. Anyways, yes, so this message sent whatever time zone this is, I'm not entirely sure. However, the developers would then delete it. Yeah, the developers are deleting their own replies, eh? And the account, I assume, I mean, the time zones are wrong here, because this is 9:49 and then this is 8:11, obviously out of whack. But here, the account responds with, hopefully someone isn't getting a paycheck cut from this, and then someone deleted it. So it seems like whoever deleted it, or whoever made it, they realised that this was a mistake, and they probably shouldn't have said anything. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much of a leak this is, given the fact that, well, obviously, as mentioned in my previous video about this, that this is a schedule. Schedules can change. And the fact that this isn't in order probably is a leak, but I'm not entirely sure if it's a leak to cover up the fact that this is mentioned in a list order. One would presume that the person who made this list as a list is a mistake, made it as a mistake, because schedules can change and they didn't want to, I don't know, provide hype to the community. What I would have to assume is that the developers, or whoever made this, commented this, didn't assume that the community would get a hold of this and it would become like a mainstream, oh yes, this is factual based, this is what's going to happen in the future, this is 100% in this order. And the developers had to clarify that, no, this is subject to change, and it isn't in order. Even though you have listed it in order, you could just mention that it's subject to change. But then I have to assume that for some reason, this reply got a load of, like, blow-ups, and then all of a sudden, yes, we need to delete this ASAP. Hopefully someone isn't getting a paycheck cut out of this. I'd have to assume that if someone got a paycheck cut, it would be because of the original comments. Some battle pass very soon, then PvP, then Ego. Although, to be fair, some battle pass very soon, that's presumed. PvP mode is mentioned in the update log. Isn't mentioned to be coming soon, though. And then Ego, that's the biggest leak. That Alter Ego is coming, or well, was planned to come, or is planned to come before the Halloween events. Now, obviously, I put myself at risk because, obviously, someone deleted it with purpose. However, I report on stuff that's been publicly circulated, and this has been publicly circulated. So, any developers that come after me for this, you have a load of other people to, prosecute, because I'm not the only person reporting on this. Additionally, I didn't take those screenshots. Someone else did, right? If someone else didn't take those screenshots, then maybe there is a case where I could be leaking confidential stuff. However, because I'm not the one doing it, and it's already, like, mainstream circulated, I don't think that it's public. It's basically public knowledge, right? Sure, you can't come at me. Please, don't come at me. And this is not the first time that the developers have leaked stuff like this. So, from what I understand, back in 2022, the Duck Hunt event was leaked as part of, like, a spring/Easter event. And I actually reported it on it, because I believe Jazir, who is the thumbnail maker, and I still believe that they are still a thumbnail maker, I'm not entirely sure, they posted in the Roblox Discord that, or well, in response to someone, that there was going to be a spring event in 2022. And I reported on it because other people told me to report on it. However, afterwards, after they realised their mistake, they deleted all of their comments and say no comment. So, I assume what's going to happen after this video is released and the developers realise that this is actually public knowledge, what I have to assume is that the developers will just deflect all comments from this schedule that's been posted on a live stream. Now, obviously, we have to treat this with respect. The schedule may change. In fact, I heavily think that the schedule will change. I don't think that it will be in that exact order. I think Alter Ego may just not have enough time to be released before the Halloween update. That being said, though, I can't be surprised if it is now, because there is a schedule for it. But yes, someone within the developmental team may have a paycheck cut. I doubt anyone's going to get fired. It's not a major mishap, because like everything that's been posted has kind of been confirmed already, apart from Halloween and Christmas, but it's always been presumed that Halloween and Christmas was coming this year. But hey, I think the security when it comes to these types of leaks, I think they're going to get a lot more tighter than they are right now or have previously. This has happened in 2022 and it's now happening in 2025. So, I don't know, we'll see.